Hello, this is Cat's Diamond Painting. Welcome to my channel, or welcome back if you've joined me here before. I have been planning this video for quite a while, going back and forth on what I was going to show you, changing my mind. There were many kits that I could have shown you in this top 10 kits that I have ever completed, because as you will have seen from the thumbnail, that is what I'm going to be doing today. This is going to be my 10 favourite diamond paintings I have ever completed. I was going to start this video chatting to camera up in my office, and frankly it is so disgustingly hot and sweaty today. You do not want to see the state of me. So you're going to have to make do with having a look at the beautiful Protégé while I just explain what I'm going to be doing here. I recently finished my 80th diamond painting. Yeah, it's not that many, maybe in 5 and a bit years. I am picking up the pace recently, and you know, it's not a race anyway, but for me that felt like quite a big landmark, quite a big number. So I thought it would be a fun time to go through my top 10 completions so far from my 5 and a bit years of diamond painting. There are different ways to assess favourite diamond painting, because you know, it's a craft, it's a hobby where we're doing something, and then there's also a finished product. So first of all, I had to decide, you know, is it going to be the 10 kits that I most enjoyed working on, or is it going to be my 10 favourite actual completions, the image? I decided to mostly focus on how much I enjoy the finished piece in this video. How much I vibe with the style, how much I love the artwork, how well I think it's been rendered, those kind of things. There may be other kits that I have enjoyed working on more than some of these, where the artwork doesn't chime with me to quite the same degree, and you know, I had to go one direction or the other, and I figured what would be most fun today would be to get out the 10 paintings that I feel like I most enjoy looking at. And for me, you know, this is a trip back memory lane. Some of these were completed years ago and I haven't looked at them in a long time. I've said top 10. This isn't going to be in strict order. The top 3 or 4 will be my top 3 or 4. I've really put a lot of thought into those. The rest of them, you could probably move them around. And like I said, if I was making the list on another day, there might be other kits that made it into this list that are not here today. I have gone back and forth on quite a few of them, but I wanted to show a range of kits that really represent my favourite things I've diamond painted. So, the first thing, and I'm going straight in with a bit of a cheat, is that I really wanted to pick one of my Dimitri Milan kits because I really love them. I think I've done 3, if I'm remembering right. There is Running the Distance, there is Steadfast Heart, and there is this one which is Protégé. And after a lot of consideration, I have gone for Protégé. It was the first Dimitri Milan kit I completed. I got this. It was Black Friday 2021, my first Black Friday with Diamond Art Club, and as soon as I saw the preview of this one, I knew I wanted to have it, and then I worked on it just a few months later in 2022 and really enjoyed it. It is a round kit. Not too many of the kits that I'm going to show you today are going to be round kits. I haven't figured out the stats on them, but the majority of them are going to be big and beastie kits, so those are always going to be squares anyway. But I love the sparkle of round drills on a painting like this, and actually 2 of the 3 Dimitri Milans I've done have been round drills, and I think it works really well for this style of artwork. This sort of soft watercolour background, you don't necessarily need a really crisp image. I love the fox. I think that is my favourite part of this painting. So let me move it up and down and show you it. So this is 56 by 66 centimetres, so a pretty moderate sized painting. And fun fact, I was working on this in February 2022 when I had my first bout of COVID. Luckily, I did not feel too unwell because I had been vaccinated just a couple of months previously. But yeah, I sat there feeling sorry for myself diamond painting. So yeah, strange bittersweet associations with this one. But I did really enjoy it. And like I said, this, out of all the kits on the list I'm going to show you today, this is the one that kind of represents a category more than the others. But it didn't feel right to show you Running the Distance because although I'm focusing more on the finished product, I really didn't have a great time working on that one. And then Steadfast Heart, I mean, I really was tempted by that, but I only completed that a few months ago and I felt like the fondness I have for it hasn't had the chance to stand the test of time yet. I don't know. This is going to be an insight into the way I think about things. But yeah, we had in this 4 AB drills, and I do see them scattered throughout. They seem to have been used quite liberally. And yeah, I just think that Diamond Art Club do such a wonderful job of rendering Dimitri Milan pieces. Like, her face, I think, looks fabulous. You may know, if you're a long time viewer of my channel, that I don't do a lot of face pics, but if I do, they've probably got an animal in them. But I do think that this has turned out beautifully. It's definitely one where up close her eyes look a little bit weird. They've got some random colours in, but from your viewing distance, I think she looks beautiful. So that is, roughly speaking, number 10. Because we're going in reverse order, if you haven't figured that out. Okay, number 9. We have Fairy Tale Sleeping Beauty by Mandy Manzano at Diamond Art Club. So Mandy Manzano was, well, she still is a really popular artist with Diamond Art Club, but they don't seem to release her things anymore, or not very often at least. I think she's still licensed with them, but at the time that I started shopping with Diamond Art Club in 2021, she was quite dominant amongst the artwork that they had, and they just have this wonderful stained glass effect that is so perfectly suited to diamond painting. I have done, I think, maybe 3 or 4 by this artist, but none for a long time. And yeah, this painting, it absolutely drew me in. And it is another round drill kit, actually, isn't it? That's interesting. So I think I have 3 round drill kits to show you today. So they're better represented than I thought. Obviously, because it's a round drill. I'm going to see little hairs that I want to pick off, but that one's been embedded here since some point in, I think, 2022 I did this one. So yeah, it's got something I really enjoy when diamond painting is if there is kind of an outline. So Mandy Manzano is perfect for that, because you have this black outline of all the sections and then you fill in the colour, and I really love that. I've never got into kind of adult colouring books, but I think of it as the same sort of process. It's like I'm colouring it in. I really like, this is such a random detail to pick up, but I really like the little prints in the distance, which admittedly in person is a blob. But from a distance you can really see what it's going for there. And the shading and just the shimmer and sparkle of the round drills, I think this one is perfect. It's perfectly rendered at this size. You get all the detail without it being overwhelming, and the colours are joyous. There was only 1 AB in this kit now. That tells you it's probably quite an old one. I'm going to bet that a fair few of the kits I'm going to show you today are now discontinued. Certainly not all of them. I know some of them are still available, but yeah, Diamond Art Club does have to discontinue kits when, you know, then they've got to a point where they're not selling much anymore because they can't stock infinite kits, which I get, but it's always kind of sad. So yeah, I would be surprised if this one is still available, because I haven't seen it for a long time. But it is an absolute stunner. I love the kind of the gradation of the colours. You know, you go from the sort of blues into purples into pinks, and then you have a bit of a break because you get past her dress, and then you go into these oranges that go into yellows, that go into greens, and then we're back up to purple at the top. And I just find that super satisfying as a diamond painter when I'm working on it, because of the variation, but also looking at it, just all those spectacular colours jumping out. So yeah, that is number 9 on my list. Okay, number 8 is our first big and beastie. This is Inspiration of Spring Meadows by Chuck Pinson at Diamond Art Club. And I do believe almost all of the kits I'm showing you today are Diamond Art Clubs, which just really reflects the fact that I do very much enjoy their rendering style, and therefore I tend to love the finished pieces from this shop. Now, will you behave, please? The big ones you're going to see are quite wavy. That is down to my storage choice, or rather the way I have to store them, which is that I need to put these just in a cupboard I've got upstairs lying flat. So over time, the weight of the drills when it's lying flat, you know, it doesn't stay in a nice roll, it becomes like a flattened roll, and that is why. So don't worry if you see creases in all of these big ones. It's annoying, but it can't be helped. And I'm sure they would drop out if I were to hang this. So this one, I know I worked on in 2021 because it was one of the very early kits I bought from Diamond Art Club. And then I finished it, I think in 2022. I took my time with it because it is a big one. This is one of about 3 tuck pinsons I've completed, I think. And he's an artist that I really enjoy. I did kind of stop buying them. I'm often very sorely tempted by them, but I find them just, I think his style for me personally can be a little samey in some of them. But when I'm looking at this, it really makes me feel tempted to pick one up again because they are, I mean, he's like the boss of landscapes, isn't he? So this one is 93 by 70 centimeters. This is probably the only kit you're going to see today that has the old Diamond Art Club square drills. So back when I started buying from them, they were still doing kind of a mixture of 9 and 13 facet square drills, like most places still do to this day. And the thought is that the varying cuts gives you more sparkle because there's kind of a mixture of different facets for the light to come off. But as the market, the manufacturing processes have evolved, higher end shops are sometimes trending towards going to uniform facets of drills. So Diamond Art Club went through another 2 changes of drills before we got to the ones we've got these days after this. And the reason I mention it mainly is that I remember there was some gapping when I was working on it. Nothing major, but a little bit. But now, several years on, these drills look super snug. So it really is true what they say, that the glue kind of shrinks, and any gapping that you see on your painting, it's not going to be a problem in the long term. I think with this one, the thing is the colours. Like, the colours are just beautiful. I'm a big fan of blues and purples, and then pinks as an offset of that. And that is this to a T, isn't it? It was super slow going because it is very highly confettied, but it looks so gorgeous for it. I really like this bottom section with the wildlife there and these daisies, and then the bridge and the path. And I mean, I could just list all the sections really because I love all of them. You got a nice bit of beautiful pink in the sky there, but not too much sky. Often with landscapes, you get big chunks of sky with some blocking in them that gives you a bit of relief from all the confetti. Not so much with this one. So this has to be one of the more confetti pieces I've completed. But isn't it worth it? I do wonder if this one's still available. This one might be, but it's been with them for a very long time. So if it is, it just goes to show how many people probably feel the same way as me, that this is an absolute beauty, because yeah, that would mean they've been stocking this for years. It has 2 ABs, so again, we used to be much lighter on the spare drills. And looking, I see green going through this patch, which is great. It gives you an effect of like sunlight dappling on the ground, a bit through the trees as well. And then I see a sort of like shell pink one up there in the clouds, and a little bit through the peaks of the mountains as well, I think. So yeah, isn't it a stunner? I also remember that this, actually, no, Protégé, the one I showed you first, was the first ever video that I put on this channel, was a post review of that. It is still up there. Please don't go watch it. It's probably awful. I absolutely cannot bring myself to watch it. But this was not long after. This was another very early post review, because yeah, I was so chuffed when I finished this. And I still am. I still get an enormous sense of satisfaction when I complete the massive ones in particular. But yeah, this one was a little bit special. It was my first one, and just so beautiful to look at. Okay, moving on. Okay, in 7th place, I have the only kit that I'm going to show you that is not a Diamond Art Club. I did have other shops in the mix in earlier versions of this list, and as I've refined it, I just have lent more towards my Diamond Art Club stash, which I apologise for if it feels a bit samey, but also, you know, this list needs to be a true reflection of what I think. Anyway, this is La Porta Rossa sulla Salita by the artist Guido Borelli, and this is from Dreamer Designs. In the early days of diamond painting, I did buy quite a lot from Dreamer Designs, and I completed several from that shop. I stopped buying from them so much because I am not a big fan of their standardized sizing, where an awful lot of their kits come out in the 80 by 60 or 60 by 80, depending on which way they are, size. And a lot of the artwork that they're selecting, I feel like needs to be slightly bigger, and as a result you can get some pixelation, you can get a lot of confetti. Like another one I completed from them, the old Waterway Cottage. I love the finished piece, but I just had so little fun working on it. But this one I did really enjoy completing, and more importantly, and the reason it's made on this list, is I just think it looks fabulous. It kind of almost has like a photorealism effect. So yeah, this one's an absolute stunner to me. There were so many that I had on my wish list from this artist, but the combination of computer rendering and not necessarily rendering to a size, I haven't ended up getting more of them. And obviously that is really subjective. I know that a lot of people are Dreamer Design fans. I hope to be able to find kits that I feel like I want to buy from them in the future, but for now, I don't think I have any from them in my stash. But I have very fond memories of this kit. I remember it, so if you know, I work on an easel. I always, just out of habit, start on this side and then work my way up in rows. If a kit is, you know, longer than it's wide, I'll do it sideways like this. And I do remember that when I was doing these first rows, it was, you know, some pretty intense confetti, and I didn't necessarily love it, and I was chipping away at it bit by bit. But then when I came back to it one time after having a break and I was about halfway through, I remember getting really into it and finishing the rest of it. And I guess looking at it, there is a lot more variety of colour on this side of the painting compared to over there, so that's probably why it grabbed me a little more at that point. This one has 2 ABs, so again, we're pretty low on ABs at this point in time. And when did I complete this? It was a very early one. Let me just check my gems flow. I did this, okay, so I started this in November 21 and I finished it in April 22. So you can see a lot of these kits I'm showing you today are ones I did a really long time ago, which was why I thought it would be fun and just like worth the effort of dragging them all out so I can have a look at them again. I do think this is gorgeous though. I wonder if they still sell it. It just, oh, honestly, it's definitely one where I think seeing it in person is quite different, because it does look fab in person, but you do see a lot more of the pixelation and the bittiness, and then just that little bit of distance that you have in the viewing finder is enough to just, for me, really bring it to life and make it look absolutely beautiful. Okay, so that was number, I've already lost track. I think it was number 7, right? Yeah, number 7. So let's move on to number 6. Okay, in 6th place, we have Second Dream by Andy Russell at Diamond Art Club. Now, when did I work on this one? This one I finished in 2023, not too long after I bought it, which I believe was Black Friday 2022. And this is, I think, the third and final round kit on this list. I think it wasn't too long after this that I started to kind of go off rounds a bit and struggle to make myself work on them until they tightened up the grid and it just got a lot easier again. I can't remember much about how the grid was on this one, but I loved it enough to make it work anyway. Andy Russell is an artist that I just absolutely love, and I wish more kits would be released because the style is something I adore, but not every single one that's been released is one where I really love the image. I want more of the ones that are me. There's a shop called Laora that has licensed. I don't know if they still do some of them, and I've almost got some from there, but I wasn't too sure about the render. I have a gorgeous big one that I got last year sometime from Diamond Art Club. And I think I have one other from a random other shop that I picked on a D-stash, but that's it. I need more. Anyway, this is 73.7 by 55.8 centimeters. It is so shiny because of all the dark colors. I always struggle to show it properly on camera, but hopefully you can see that shimmer there. It has got 5 ABs, so getting into a time where the special drills are used a bit more liberally, and you can see them everywhere. Like this section down here is basically all ABs, and then you've got numerous different colours popping up at various places. But yeah, this style of artwork is just me to a T. Landscape, check. Abstract, check. Gorgeous colours, check, you know. It's just really, really, really me. And I think it turned out fabulously. And another one where, you know, round drills probably was the best choice for it because of that wonderful shine that you can't quite see properly, but I can. I love it. It's just every single detail is just like a slightly off from what it would be in reality. Or in some cases very off. You know, the flowers and plant life, they don't look like real flowers and plant life, but you know that that's what they are. The house is a little bit kooky. This kind of bit of landscape here just doesn't look quite like a real landscape. And then sadly it is not realistic to see all these stars and galaxies in the night sky unless you've got a very good telescope. But it is, for me, just a perfect diamond painting. Give me more. I would buy, well, I wouldn't buy all the Andy Russells. Like I said, there's a few that I haven't gone for. I'm like really tempted, but I know realistically I won't get around to them. But I would love, love, love some more pieces like this. Okay, moving on to number 5. Now the next one that I show you is going to be a mystery kit. So just in case this is a spoiler for you, this is going to be mystery kit 41. That's Abstract Ocean, and it is by Mad Art Studios. Okay, so if that is a kit that you do not want to see spoilers for, scroll on now, and I'll try and put a timestamp on for when you can safely get to. Okay, let me put this away and get that one out. Here it is. So this one was a source of much deliberation because, to be honest, I definitely could have put more mystery kits on this list, and I did kind of have to pick one to represent them all because I love the mystery kits I've completed, but I didn't want this whole list to be kits that several people wouldn't want to look at because they're avoiding spoilers or whatever. So yeah, I picked this one to be my favourite, probably based more on how much I enjoyed doing it, to be fair, but I absolutely love the artwork. I mean, if you go back to what I was saying about Second Dream, where I love a landscape but I love it abstract and I love, you know, vibrant colours, you can see again why this is exactly my style. I remember this one because I'm someone, if there's a mystery kit, I pretty much always find out what it is before buying if I can, and I think I was able to do that with this one, and then I have never been so desperate to make sure I managed to buy one. I think not everyone loves this style of artwork, which, well, obviously they don't, because no one likes every single style of artwork, but yeah, I don't remember it selling out like immediately or anything scary like that, but I managed to get it, and that was what was important to me. It had 3 ABs. This one was, I think, from maybe around 2023-ish. Let's find out. I could have been prepared with this, couldn't I? Could have been. Right, mystery. Just looking in Gems Flow, searching for mystery. Okay, so this one was, yeah, I bought this in May 2023. And I worked on it in February 2024. And at that time, I was in quite a diamond painting slump and I wasn't getting much done. And this one, because I had so much fun with it, really got me back into it again for a little bit before I then had another slump. But still, I just loved it. I always love working on mystery kits and just when they're really brightly coloured and you've got that popping out from the, you know, not black and white, but near enough black and white background. Oh, it's so much fun. You can see as well, this is chock full of ABs. All these water droplets coming from the whale's tail, a row at the top of the whale. You've got various bits, like little bits here and there in that background. You've got the flowers. It's just, yeah, really, really glitzy, this one. Really thoroughly highlighted and just so beautiful for it. So that was number 5. Let's move on into, I was going to say let's move into the top 5, as though number 5 isn't part of the top 5. What am I talking about? But let's move on. Okay, in at number 4, we have Beach Vacation by Jeff Haney. And this is a Diamond Art Club kit from, again, I think around 2023-ish. Let me try and move it around and show you. This is so bright, so vibrant, so fun. I had an absolute ball working on this one. It has 74 colours, which I remember at the time it came out, that was still kind of unusual. That's like a very typical amount now. But I remember kitting this up and thinking, whew, this took a while. Little did I know how things were going to get, eh? Because these days it's not at all uncommon to have kits in the 90s or even 100 colours. It is packed full of special drills, including what is possibly my most favourite use of special drills in any kit ever, which is these quad drills that you see. Let me try and bring that up closer so you can see them. So the artwork has fairy lights essentially draped all around these poles and then on top of the camper van, and they have used these quad drills to render them, which is just beyond perfect. I love that so much. Also remember, side note, that they were super satisfying to place because I left them to the end in every section. It was a really nice snug grid, so it was like pushing them in with a real crunch. This is a really good example of how I love pictures that have a lot of pictures within them. You know, there were so many little details, and maybe when I was working on them I didn't necessarily identify exactly what I was working on, but then I'd take a step back and be like, oh, it's like a basket of food, it's a cat, it's a, you know what I mean, like all the way through. There's so many little details in this kit. And I remember seeing the preview for this one and it being one that I just absolutely had to get. I think, I'll double check this, but I think that this one is still available. And I do hope it is, because it would be such a shame for this to be discontinued. It's 98 by 70 centimetres, so it was quite possibly the biggest kit I'd ever done at the point that I did it, because I think my other big and beasties stopped at 93 centimetres. But yeah, it's so fun, you know. How would you ever get bored working on a kit like this, where every section's got different objects, it's got different colours, you got some greenery, you got all these beautiful orangey sky bits and the sea there, and then all these bits and bobs and the wonderful fairy lights. I'm just like, I want to go there. I don't even do camping, although I will stay in a caravan, to be fair. Some of the details are a bit more random and kind of abstract and kooky, like this seal that is here. I don't know, maybe it's supposed to be like an inflatable or something, but it kind of doesn't look like it is. You've also got flamingos here. So yeah, there's all sorts of animals just like joining in the fun that you wouldn't necessarily think would be hanging around, but who cares? Since when do I care about realism? I've just been saying that I love abstract stuff. Not that it's abstract, but you know what I mean. So yeah, this one is just, there's not many kits that I feel like I could work on a second time. And you know what? I probably could work on this a second time. It's just, yeah, never get bored with a kit like this. Never get bored. I'm just taking a moment to admire it. Yeah, and now let's move on to my top 3. Okay, in third place is the only kit that you've seen fairly recently, because this was in my full year review that I put up in April, because I finished it in July of last year. And this is Christmas Cabin by Donna Gelsinger. There we go. As is often the case with the ones on this list, you know, I think everyone that I've showed you here is one that when I saw it, I had to have it straight away. This is one that was part of, I think it was, well, it was definitely part of a big Christmas release for Diamond Art Club in, was it 2024? Yeah, I think it was 2024. And I actually started working on it pretty much straight away for that Christmas, but I didn't get it done in time. So I did it I finished it in Christmas in July. Anyway, the point is, I saw this and then I scrolled across on the preview and saw the render picture and my jaw dropped. I am quite clearly a fan of how Diamond Art Club renders paintings. Always have been, probably always will be. I think that they do a brilliant job and there's a reason why they have such a reputation for it. But every now and again, a kit comes along that just, they knock it out of the park, so far beyond even what I consider to be their normal standard. And for me, this kit is that. Obviously it's subjective. Like if you're not a big landscape fan, you're probably not going to have the same warm and gooey feeling as I do towards it. But for me, the color choices, the render in this is perfection. I think in terms of the render, my favorite bit is quite possibly this tree with the snow-laden branches, because I just think that's perfect. And then it's just the shading of this. It's just so, you can imagine it. It feels real, you know? And then over on this side, actually, it's just as fabulous. There's a few little bits, like the holly is a little more pixelated, particularly up close, but mostly it's perfection. I intended for this to go up on our wall. I have basically one space in our living room where I have a diamond painting hanging, and my husband nails them into the wall. Like, we don't do anything fancy, like we haven't framed them or anything. We just use nail varnish remover to take the edges off, to remove like the printed bits on the side. I mean, if you didn't know it, that's a hack. Takes a lot of scrubbing, but it will take off, you know, the ink that makes up the legends and that kind of thing. And we just didn't get around to hanging it last Christmas. Maybe we will this Christmas, but it's a hassle and we're lazy. But I definitely would like to have this one up for the Christmas season this year, because yeah, I love my Christmas diamond paintings. I'm sure I'll continue to do at least one every year, but it would take some topping for one to beat this. This one is from the era of fairy dust drills, so we've got quite a lot of special drills in this one because we've got 2 ABs and 4 fairy dust. But yeah, I think they are used pretty perfectly. Like, it's not blingy, like you wouldn't expect a landscape, a proper landscape that isn't, you know, more abstract and stuff, to necessarily need blinging up that much, but they just accent little bits perfectly. Catches the lighting on some of those branches. You've got some in the fire, and then there's a lot used through all these bits of plant, like the holly tree and that here, which is perfect because you've got the light from the cabin shining on them, so you know it makes sense. It really helps bring to life what the artwork captured lighting wise. It's a stunner. Oh, I love this painting so much. I saw when there was a recent round of mystery boxes that this one appeared as the like the surprise kit in a few of them, which often means that DAC are discontinuing a painting. And I don't know if it has been discontinued, but I'll be sad if that's the case. I feel like this kit is just like underappreciated based on how much I love it. But yeah, it's just, I don't know what to say. It's just stunning. Okay, 2 more to go. I need to take a little pause and film number 2 elsewhere in the house, because that is the one painting I have hanging on the walls. So let me pack this away and go do that now. For number 2 on the list, we have gone over to admire my living room wall, where I have got House on a Cliff hanging up. As you can see, it's done really nicely, wonderful framing job. This kit came out in Diamond Art Club's first ever mystery box, which I think was maybe 2022, and I stayed up till 2 a.m. because they announced it only a few hours in advance, and I was like, oh, I think I might want to do that. And my husband and son were like, yeah, do it, stay up. And to be honest, I'm a night owl anyway, so it wasn't too much bother. And I checked out very, very quickly, which was a good thing because this mystery box sold out within 2 minutes. And back at that point, it wasn't like they do them now. It was that everyone got, I think it was 6 kits for like half price. It was also the best value a mystery box has ever been. And then they scrambled and put together another collection of 6 kits to make up a second one. And then that sold out quickly too. And that was that. But anyway, this was one of those first 6 kits. And that first mystery box to me was just spectacular in general, and you know, started my obsession with them. But this kit, when I saw this was in there, I just loved. It is beautiful, and I worked on it, not sure how much longer after, but you know, probably not too long, maybe a year or so later, and loved every moment of it. I even had issues with this kit. I remember I had some slippery glue. I had like real issues with static with the drills, where they were just sort of clumped together but not actually stuck together. It was literally just the static making them stick together, which I remember raising a couple of queries with support at Diamond Art Club, asking if they had any tips, because the usual things like leaving it open to cure, like we're not cutting mustard. Is that an expression? That doesn't seem like it would be an expression, Kat, because why would you cut mustard? Anyways, they weren't cutting it. So I actually ended up being given some points for this, and I think this portion of the mystery box was even refunded, which feels almost like I cheated them, because despite those very real quality issues with this particular canvas, it's one of my absolute favourite paintings I've ever done. This one actually got released a while afterwards as well. I don't know if it's still available, but it was at least available on the website for a little bit, I guess maybe because it was that popular. So I guess you can sort of see from some of the things I've said about some of the other kits what I love about this. It is, of course, a landscape and a fairly traditional landscape, but it's quite an unrealistic setting, isn't it? So it does give it that slightly unlifelike, not abstract, but like not quite realistic element that I seem to really go for, even though I don't know why. But you know, you can't really imagine this house actually being there on this steep cliff and you've just got like a little rope bridge, and I'm just realizing now how risky it is that that dog is going over the rope bridge all by itself. But yeah, it was a lot of fun to work on. Lots of confetti, of course, because there's loads of flowers all through it. But I remember going through it fairly quickly because I was just having so much fun with it. Also, there are fairly large patches where you have got a bit of blocking, like the water patches, the side of the mountain, and then of course all the sky. So there was a little bit of balance there. It had quite a few ABs. I can't remember how many, and of course I've acetoned off the legend on this one, but I can see them in like the house. I think there was red ones in the roof of the house, and I can see a yellowy one up in the clouds in the sky, and then some like red and yellow ones in the flowers over on the left hand side near the little bunnies. So yeah, that was number 2, House on a Cliff. And like I said with Christmas Cabin, like that was originally going to replace this one, and I think, although as I said it was largely laziness, there's also an element of, you know, I'm quite happy having this one on the wall. I really, really enjoy this image. Okay, on to number 1. Okay, time for my favourite diamond painting I have completed. Now, if you are a long-time follower of my channel, you may be slightly confused by why we haven't seen any Richard Lorenz kits yet. I love Richard Lorenz. His Crazy Crazy Birds are some of my favourite paintings, and he's definitely the most represented artist in my collection of diamond paintings. I have a lot, all right? And I love them. They are just fun and quirky and bright and enjoyable to diamond paint, and how many more times can I say I love them? Anyway, I could have put loads in this top 10. There are so many that I debated putting in because I have completed quite a few. But let's face it, it would be quite boring for you if this entire list was one artist. Like, I want this to reflect my actual favourites, but also, you know, let's keep it interesting. So you're going to have to take this one as kind of also representing the other Richard Lorenzis that I've completed. But you may have guessed where this is going. This is my absolute favourite diamond painting that I have completed. It is, of course, Family Circus. Let's have a look at it. Oh my goodness, has a diamond painting ever been more perfect for me? Okay, so this one came out in 2022. It was the first Richard Lorenz kit that Diamond Art Club ever released. And fun fact, I kind of missed the hype at first. It didn't immediately grab me, and I didn't immediately think, yes, I must have that. So even though that's been the case for almost everything on this list, the #1 kit, not so much. And what happened was I was chatting to a friend just after like VIP release, the early release. And she said, oh, have you seen this one? I'm thinking about getting it. What do you think? And I looked at it and I looked at it a bit more and thought, hang on. And then I went and watched a bit of the sneak peek that was up in the little bit of time that I had before general release. And by general release at 5:30, I was all in. I wanted this painting. It has so many things that I love. It is bright and colourful, like tick, massive tick. That is the case for almost all the Richard Lorenzis in my collection. It's also just like, it was super fun to diamond paint. You know, you've got a bit of blocking in the background, you've got all these fun sections, never any super high confetti, just small blocks of colour, lots of variation, all of that. I love the fact that, to me, it represents my family. And I think a lot of us have kind of, you know, fit our own lives into these pictures because I am one of 4 kids. I say kids, I'm the youngest and I'm 42. My siblings are all in their 50s now. But yeah, you've got mum and dad, and then you have got the 4 children. And I think I did decide which was all of us at the time. I'm pretty sure that was me, because I'm the little one. That was Bethan, my oldest sister. That one was Tom, my brother, because he looks a bit moody. I love you, Tom, but you know, if the cap fits. And then this one was Jenny, my other sister. And this one actually has recently been released as a standalone painting. This is Charlie. So it's not a Jenny at all, but whatever. I don't think I have ever had as much fun working on a diamond painting as I did with this one. And even though I've been at pains to point out this list is more about enjoyment of the finished piece, I think my love for how much fun I had working with it makes me love the finished piece so much, because I adore these crazy birds. And this one isn't one that I would hang on the wall, maybe slightly controversial take with some people, because I know that there are plenty of people who feel like, you know, diamond painting, you're creating this piece of art, you're going to hang it on the walls. If you can't, what's the point? Well, I don't share that view, primarily because I do not have the wall space. You know, I live in the UK. We tend to have fairly small homes here compared to a lot of other countries in the world. I don't have a ton of walls, and the walls that we do have, I mean, we have other artwork and things that matter to our family. I don't feel any particular urge to fill a lot of the remaining space with my diamond paintings, which may only appeal to me in some cases. And this one is definitely, it's a fun and quirky one. It's not the kind of thing that if I was buying an actual painting, I would put on the wall, so I'm not going to do it as a diamond painting. So this probably sounds quite contradictory to some people, but let me stress, that does not take anything away from how much I love this painting. It is just, it kind of in a way represents diamond painting to me, because it's been the kind of peak of my diamond painting journey to work on this painting, so far at least. And there have been many others that I have enjoyed nearly as much or like come close to toppling this one, but I'm honestly not sure any ever will, because of the nostalgia element, because of it being the first, because of it starting this craze of the Richard Lorenz birds. It's just, yeah, this is diamond painting for me. So there you go. That is the end of my top 10. I gotta think now about what I can put on the thumbnail, because I don't want to give away too much. But yeah, this one definitely represents them all. Maybe I could put this on the thumbnail and you'll be like, yeah, well, obviously that's in their cat. But let me know what you think, guys. I've really enjoyed doing this video. I've been thinking about it for a while, like I've said. I am tempted at some point in the future to also do my 10 least favourite paintings. Again, focus more on the finish. I'm not sure if that's a bit harsh. It's mostly going to be, you know, ones from a long time ago, from earlier on in my diamond painting experience, when I didn't necessarily make the best decisions about what was going to turn out well. But yeah, if you think it'd be interesting to see, then I'll add it to the list and try that at some point. And then I'm also hoping that this is a list that I can review in the future. I mean, not for a long time, because I imagine a lot of these will hold steady. But in another couple of years, when I've done a lot more paintings, who knows how much it might have shifted. It would be fun to find out. Let me know what you think of my selections, if any of them are ones that you've done or you would want to do or you have in your stash. I always love to hear from you. And yeah, hopefully you've enjoyed taking a look at these with me. So that is it from me today. If you have enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like on it. And if you are not yet subscribed to the channel, I'd love to have you stick around, so please consider doing that too. And I will hopefully see you again soon. Bye bye.